There will be no safety updates. Customers are advised to keep to the right-hand side when exiting.
What's going on? What's going on? You know, I was battling whether to start this thing with like high energy on some typical radio station shit, you know. But nah. I'm trying to be as consistent as I possibly can. Plus, I figured the first impression I make should be one which is as authentic as fucking possible. Lama. That's what I think. So anyway, welcome to the first fucking podcast. Javset fucking radio. You know, I almost feel like I should give a speech as if this is some great achievement, but really it's not, you know. It's just a fucking podcast, man. It is just a fucking podcast. I think sometimes like this generation of ours, what are we called, the millennials, we have that tendency of like blowing shit up, you know. Any small thing we do, we try and like give it like more significance, especially in the context that it's in, you know. Whereas all you did was just fucking cross the road, man. Like, it's like, it's not that deep. So yeah, welcome to the first fucking podcast, man. Javset Radio, you're listening to OD. And yeah, just a quick intro. Well, not a quick intro. Rather quite a lengthy one. But yeah, it won't be the totality of like who the Javset is, who I am. All that shit will probably unravel. Oh fuck, Tesco. Shopping has just come. Give me a fucking moment. Jump to the music. Fucking hell, that was tiring, man. Yeah, man. So yeah, as I was fucking saying, intro. Who the fuck am I? And who the motherfucker is the Javset? Obviously, if you're listening to this as early as it comes out, then you're probably very familiar with who the fuck I am. But yeah, for those who might be listening for the first time, Yeah, OD and the Javset. I am a recording artist. Basically, I've just been all over the place creatively. And yeah, a lot of that will be expressed like in the whatever music you're going to hear as well. Which is I'm basically using this podcast as an instrument to like push my music, but also in context of like who I am. You know, sometimes people will just like be on that, listen to my jam, you know, and usually there's nothing behind the music. I think people nowadays are more curious, especially if something strikes a chord. They tend to want to dig deeper. So I'm not saying that's going to be the case with my music, or that is the case with my music, but I'm basically covering all my fucking bases, you know. So yeah, man, the Javset. So the Javset is basically a play on the words jet set, which I don't have my Google Assistant with me, but I think we're all familiar with what jet set means, you know. These guys who like travel all over the place. So it's basically a play on the word. Basically switched the jet with the jav, which means in Kenyan slang it could be a noun or a verb, but it's basically to do with public transportation. If you say I'm javing, then I'm on public transportation. So it's like my guy, I'm javing to yours, you know. I'm javing to your place later today, or can I catch a lift? Otherwise there are no javs, back digs, you know, type of shit. So jav itself is a short of the word javelin. Basically, I've seen it's very evident these sides, like in the UK, and even on TV when you look at the subway or any public transportation, like in the rest of the world, how people usually stand either in the bus or in the fucking train, and then those fucking railings that they hold on to, it basically looks like they're holding a javelin, and they're trying to they're just ready to throw that shit, you know. So that's where that word comes from, like I'm javing, which basically means like the typical stance, which I thought was just fucking cool. So since most of my transportation, like actually anywhere I've been, has always been public transportation, you know, I decided to call it the Javset. And the Javset, yeah, it's a collective of like shit. You might as well be on the fucking Javset, you know. It's not just like transportation, it's also like significance. It has significance in the sense that we are all going through some journey, you know, from A to B, however long it fucking takes, you know. But it's all about being in the fucking moment. And yeah, man, to the journey kind of thing, you know. Yeah, it's a bit romantic, but fuck off, you know. Fuck right off, man, you know. Like that's my attempt of being deep, you know. So if it makes you uncomfortable, eat a dick. Anyway, I'm not an angry person, but yeah, so yeah, man. Yeah, I guess we'll be back like shortly after this one. Meanwhile, jam to that shit. I mean, it's fucking Javset radio, so there's no way there's not going to be any musical component to what these podcasts are. Jam to that shit.
And now, a fucking word from our sponsors.
The Javset. When the journey takes so long that you realise you've forgotten where you were heading in the first place. The Javset. When the experience of the scenic route makes the fact that the destination keeps changing far more bearable. This message is brought to you by the Javset, the lost, found and lost again. And found again. And lost again. Found again. Fuck's sake. Lost again. Fuck. Oh, and found again.
Welcome back. Pretty sure none of you left anyway. But, cause I'm so riveting, like, fuck, like, glued to your fucking seat. Or maybe someone has just tied your hands and you can't fucking change the channel. 50 Shades has fucked things up for many guys, man. But anyway, yeah, man. So, I tend to think, like, over the years I've become a lot more, practical and pragmatic with the dreams that I have. Yeah, so basically there's always like a short to mid to long term goals. And I'm sure many of you guys can also relate, man. We're living in a rapidly changing world. I was actually having a conversation with a friend of mine and she was like, we were basically talking about how automation and how things are, the cost of production has gotten not cheap but more efficient, meaning that the human component is being slowly reducing. So like you'll either find like in very industrialized countries, you'll go to factories and like robots are doing most of the work that just a few decades ago human beings were doing. So I think that forced me to like try and figure out my place and how we can contribute in a place where like the job market is really going to change. It might not happen soon, but it's definitely happening. It's been happening for a while, and I think the way things are right now, it's only going to pick up pace. So like disciplines that were deemed to be very important or integral to like development of whichever country the person was in just a few years ago are no longer like as significant as others, you know. So there's that typical roller coaster thing, up down thing that's happening. The typical stuff you'd see like in a market if you're a trader. There's just a lot of shifts that's happening. So yeah, I've been trying to figure out like me, I've always been into music. However, as I grew older and among many factors, you know, I began to realize my position globally, because I never really thought of myself as making music just local territories, because it only made sense to me, like, you know, you grow up listening to, other than the stuff like the stuff that I used to grow up listening to, which was a lot of it was Kenyan. There's also a significant amount that was Jamaican, Congolese, you know, like East African, South, West, and a massive amount like from the rest of the world as well, like the US, the UK, Spain or France, you know, Japan, you know, whichever. So it only made sense for me to be like, if I want to be like a musician or if I want to make beats, then I have to fucking like, that should be a goal as well, you know. Like I'm not just doing it for any local market, I'm doing it for all the markets. So then I expose my stuff to, you know, thanks to things like Soundcloud and all these other sites or whatever that allow you to like post your music, whether YouTube or Facebook or basically this whole social network thing. I began to realize through the reception my place, you know, and this is just one of them. But this one, I feel like I need to put this out, you know, just for the sake of not anyone who's listening to me who makes beats, but just anyone who's listening to me, whatever field they are in, and they're trying to like do what they're doing in a global context, not only like in a local or territorial context, whether it's business or whether it's music or just anything, you know. Yeah, I found out that I realized it might also just be my own experience, but for the rest of the world has a very simplistic image when it comes to like Africans, you know, an extremely simple one, which is I just like, for music, I'll speak for music, you know. So I do all types of shit, you know. I do all types of shit in the electronic domain. So whether it's hip hop or whether it's like house music or whether it's D&B, dubstep, sometimes, you know, trap, like I have enough proficiency to be able to like pull off a beat like that, you know. But the moment you start saying, or even the moment you start lacing like a beat with like a rap and me rapping in this accent, how you're listening to me speak, even in this podcast, by the, you know, given the fact some people will switch on this podcast and they'll listen to the accent and they'll be like, nah, nothing I can relate to, you know. So I think there's that simplistic, you know, like world music. What the fuck is world music, you know? I remember like playing like the older guard, because I'm currently here in the UK. And you know, oh, you're from Kenya, oh, so, you know, you see them lighting up, you know, it's like, oh, you make music, oh damn, you know, lighting up, because you already have like a preconceived, you know, like they're expecting like they're going to hear like a newer version, since I'm a millennial, a newer version of like fucking congas and chants or whatever. Peace to all the people who are doing that music, by the way. I jump to that shit heavy. But I think people are refusing to recognize that we're also part of the same fucking world. You know, I don't even know where the fuck this. I don't know where I was going with this thing. But I basically realized like, okay, fine. So this is how the world fucking perceives me. So I began to I asked myself, okay, so this is the stage you want to play at. But already this is either an advantage or a disadvantage. So I decided I'm not going to look at it as a disadvantage. Instead, I'm going to look at it as an advantage and try and use, you know, like leverage that to like get my shit out there or whatever. But I had to be pragmatic about it. So now there's the short term, mid term, and motherfucking long term goals. And it's I guess it's all going to play out. There's no way I'm going to be able to like put everything out like in the first. There'll be conversations I'll be having, you know, especially now when it reaches a point I'm doing this shit live, and you can actually send me like tweets, you know, or like I'm even in the process of getting another microphone so I can get people to sit down. We'll just talk about anyone, you know, not necessarily like we'll talk about anything, man, you know, because yeah, so it's basically me, like we are here, man. We are here, and that's not going to it's not going to change. You might as well just like force yourself into liking our shit, you know, or accepting it anyway, or respecting it. You don't have to like it. I can't force you to like anything, but fucking like it. Oh, kumbala, humbo. That was some old school African bewitching. For those who've kept this far, you know, big up. But now you're hooked now. You're mine. Yeah. So yeah, man, like it's fucking unfair, man. But it is what it is. So now I'm just playing my position, climbing up, slowly, falling down, climbing up, dusting myself. Calluses on my fucking hand, but my grip is getting stronger. Mountain, the rock is getting steeper. But my core has also gotten stronger, so I'm able to, my hang time is amazing. So, I mean, eventually, I think consistency also fucking pays. So whatever the fuck you're doing, and I'm not just speaking to like people who sound like me. I'm speaking to fucking everyone, man. Like I have friends from all over the fucking place, man. So, but yeah, I'm just all I'm saying is that I recognize, you know, like how many have actually watched? How many of those of you who have like friends from the continent? And this now I'm speaking to my non-African friends, because my African friends obviously see this shit and they're like, whoa, what the fuck is that about, you know? But how many have like friends from like the continent, and you've hung around enough times to like you know how people speak, you know how like you understand each other, you know, you get these people's accents, whether they're from the west, east, south or north, you know? And you go and watch like an American or a US film, and in those rare occasions that there's an actual African, there's a role where like one of the actors has to act as an African, and you hear their fucking accents and you're like, who the fuck sounds like that, you know? I know I cannot be the only one, you know. I genuinely cannot be the only one, you know. I won't even name names, because you know, you listen to people speak and I'm like, come on man, you're fucking Hollywood, you know, like do a bit more research, you know, like if this person is from, where is he from? If he's from the West Africans speak a certain way, you know, at least, you know, I'm not saying like you go inside and like get all the the tones right or whatever, but just fucking work harder. You're fucking Hollywood. You have the money, man. Or even better yet, fucking get like a Togolese guy to act a Togolese person's role. You know, that might be a bit radical, but I'm sure you have Nigerian or you have Kenyan actors who are there in those countries of yours that are trying to aspire to be actors as well. And given the fact that as much as this whole preservationist and nationalist movements are gaining traction, globalization is still going to fucking happen. So a lot of movies are going to, like, the discerning, not even discerning, like just the normal dude will be like, man, you have to be more inclusive, you know? Like, you can't be talking about a superhero movie and say the world is at stake, but the world is only like UK and the States, you know? So what would happen, for example, I'm waiting to hear how the accents are going to come out in Black Panther. That's going to be fucking interesting. But yeah, man, for fuck's sake, man. When it comes to competence, we are pretty much there, man, with you guys. And it's only a matter of time. It's only a matter of time before like we start gaining traction as well. But if you're gaining traction from a position where like you didn't give it to us and we took it from you, it's that typical case of like climbing the ladder and not helping and throwing the ladder down instead of keeping the ladder up to help people climb up as well. It'll be that case where, you know, now we are in a position, we have stronger bargaining power, but we also haven't forgotten like how we were portrayed or how like doors were shut and chances were limited just because like guys were holding on to some archaic geopolitical paradigm that you guys still choose to hold on to, you know, not considering how shit has fucking changed. Fuck. Okay. If that wasn't a rant. Yeah, this is good. This is good. This is actually healthy. This is like self-therapy, you know. I have a friend, Sash. She's a drama therapist. So we've been having conversations and it's like, yeah, you know, find ways of venting. Find creative ways of venting this shit out, yeah. And yeah, not too bad for a first episode. Not too bad. I know I haven't articulated too much of what I want to do with this shit, but it'll probably be this and just a lot of dope music, man. A lot of dope music that has been worked on, honestly. Maybe some episode down the line I'm going to talk shop, so there'll be a few episodes that will be very that I'll only be talking about like my profession as a audio engineer or as a beat maker or as a recording artist or as a basically, you know, and I'll try and like, you know, I'll even describe everything, my setup, to anyone who will be fucking interested, you know, because I think how I've managed to like do this shit, I've done it at a very cost-effective way, or I'm doing it at a very cost-effective way. So like for me, I'm not looking for any investment or whatever. Like I'm all about making the product as good as it is, putting it out there, and when it starts gaining traction, there'll be more substance behind it, you know. But yeah, so it's not me like vlogging or giving you like, oh, my journey, you know, like there'll be a lot of that as well, but I'll also be a lot, you know, let's be fucking objective. I've just drank a fucking can of, I don't know if this is concentrated, let me read this, Lucozade. It came as a free sample, a small ass can. But damn, the sugar, I think I've gotten a sugar. I haven't gotten a sugar high since, I can't remember the last time I got a sugar high, man. Oh, usually when I drink Coca-Cola, but I'm fucking hype, which is fucked up because that's basically towards the end of the show. But yeah, guys, man, me, I'm here, you know, like I'll continue posting. I'm even thinking of like, anyway, no, some things are better left unsaid. But anyway, man, thanks for being around, and I guess we shall be chatting again soon, or really it'll just be a fucking monologue and it'll be me talking to you because I fucking said so, you know. I decided. No, but really, yeah, once you know, there'll be call-ins, you know. I'll get guys to talk, you know, speak about their trades, you know, like this is it's going to be tight. But yeah, thanks for sticking around this far, and boom, jam out to this one. Peace from the Javset Radio.